Hi everyone, Cassie here from Primrose Dawn, and today I wanted to talk about sewing panties with plush back picot edge elastic. So what is plush back picot edge elastic? Well, plush back means that the back of the elastic has been brushed, so it's very soft, and the picots are the little bumps up at the top edge of the elastic. Now the plush back picot edge elastics you want to use for panties are very soft and very stretchy. There are other types of picot edge elastic out there that are used for bra making, and these have a much firmer stretch. And you don't really want to use these for sewing panties because elastic that is this firm would be uncomfortable if it was used around the waist and leg openings. There are a couple different ways that you can sew plush back picot edge elastic. This is probably the most common one. I'm sure you've seen this, where you start with the elastic on the right side of the fabric with the picots facing inwards, and you zigzag along the edge, and then you turn it back and sew with a wider zigzag. So when the garment's worn, all you see are the little picots sticking out the edge of the top. I also like to sew my panty elastics flat. I feel like it makes a thinner finish that's less likely to show underneath your clothing. So you can also just lay the elastic on top and zigzag it down. On this particular pair of panties, I've sewn with the picots facing inwards. So now I'd like to show you a couple different ways that you can sew this elastic. Now we're going to work on sewing the plush back picot edge elastic. The first one I'm going to show you is sewn in 2 passes and will be turned back so that you will only see the picots against the right side of the garment. Now I have the elastic plush side facing up with the picots facing inwards, and the edge of the elastic is aligned with the edge of the fabric. I have already sunk my needle down in the fabric, and I have my machine set to a zigzag about 2.4 wide and 2 long. You'll want to adjust the width to be about half the width of your elastic so that when you stitch, the zigzags will only be on the inner half of the elastic. So here we go. I'm stretching the elastic slightly as I go. The tightness of the elastic is mostly a personal preference. Your pattern will probably give you guidance on how much to stretch the elastic as you sew. And I'm trying to sew just along the edge of the elastic, but not all the way over into the picots. Yeah, that looks okay. So now we're going to fold back the elastic, and as you can see, you can only see the picots. So now we're going to do a second pass, and this can be done with the same zigzag, just made slightly wider, or you can do a 3-step zigzag. This is also just a personal preference. Your pattern might also give you guidance on which the pattern designer preferred to use. I'm going to go ahead and adjust my width with a regular zigzag and do about, 3.8 wide. Let's see how that gets us. Sink the needle down. And of course you would want to back stitch and all that. If this was a real garment, this is just a test swatch. So here we go. My machine always has trouble getting started here. Now when you make your zigzags, you want to go towards the left edge of the elastic. You'll be able to feel it underneath your fabric here. You don't want to go off the elastic, but you want to get near the edge to hold it down. Readjust here. As you can see, I ran short a little bit with my elastic. And there you have it. You have just the picots sticking out on the edge of your fabric. And on the back you will see, oh, see, I did go off the edge there just a little bit. You have 2 passes. Now I'm going to show you how to sew the picot edge elastic in 1 pass. This is the method that I prefer. It might not look as good aesthetically as when the elastic is turned back with just the picot sticking out, but it creates a flatter finish underneath your clothes and is less likely to produce a visible panty line. So I've chosen a 3-step zigzag on my machine The automatic setting is 5 wide and 1 long. And I have, this time, the plain edge of the elastic facing up. This isn't going to be against your skin, so I didn't really need to put the plush side facing up, but you could if you want to. And I have the raw edge of the fabric aligned with just the edge of the elastic here, not including the picots. You don't really want to have the edge of the fabric sticking up behind the picots. And if your elastic is a bit wider than your stitching, you'll want your stitching to align with the inner edge of the elastic, and then you can trim away excess fabric later if you like. I've already sunk my needle down into the fabric. Sometimes it has a little bit of trouble getting started. If it does, you can just hold on to your thread ends behind the machine here. You could also stick a piece of tissue paper underneath your fabric. That helps the feed dogs kind of grip things, get them going. So here we go, stretching slightly. Try and get my, oops, it's caught up here. Get my stitching close to the inner edge of the elastic just to hold it down. And I'm stretching slightly as I go. Trying not to stretch the fabric, just stretching the elastic. I'm lining up the fabric edge with the solid edge of the elastic. There we go. If you were sewing an actual garment, you would want to back tack there. And there it is in one pass. Oh, you can see I got a little stuck right here. Takes a bit of practice getting used to your machine. If you're having trouble with the feed dogs, you could try loosening the presser foot pressure, which is probably what I need to do in this instance. And there you have it. 2 methods for sewing plush back picot edge elastic. If you have any questions, write me a comment below. Bye for now.